Hello, and welcome to the Library Advisory Board's presentation of the Avondale Academy's Library Media Center. The Library Advisory Board, consisting of Jennifer Fry, Rebecca Goff, Maria Reinstein, and Chris Vella, are pleased to present our budget plan to the Board of Trustees and the Grays brothers. By the end of this presentation, it should be clear that the Library Media Center and the Avondale Academy's Board of Trustees share the same vision. The Media Center will help transform this vision into a reality. The vision is that the Avondale Academy will become a demonstration of the impact that technology can have on improving education. The Avondale Academy Library Media Center will work hard to become the technological and informational heart of the Avondale Academy and work towards integrating technology throughout the curriculum. This presentation will cover 4 criteria of the Library Media Center budget plan. The first of which is a description of the Media Center, in which we will cover the materials, services, physical space, and staff needed in order to turn this into a successful library. The second criteria is the space requirements, in which we will describe both the total square space for the entire building, as well as the breakdown of the square space of several other auxiliary rooms. The third criteria of the Library Media Center presentation will be the line item budget and the first year budget. The fourth criteria will be an explanation of all of our expenses, such as the reading materials, the technology and computer materials, the operating system, staffing. Our hope is that by the end of this presentation, the Board of Trustees and Grays brothers will be perfectly clear on where their money is going and why it is justified in being spent in the manner that it is. The Library Advisory Board has put forth some materials that we feel are necessary for the success of the Avondale Academy's Library Media Center. For example, we feel that there should be a large number of print books, roughly 3,000 to 4,000 books that are appropriate for the grade levels of our school. In addition to these print books, we will provide print magazines, about 20 titles, and 30 titles of digital magazines. We feel that digital magazines are important to add to our collection to ensure that students realize that we can turn to electronic text rather than just simply print text. Also, digital books can be accessed through an app. We will provide over 1,000 fiction books in our digital book collection and another 1,000 nonfiction books. Reference books, digital subscription databases, an Apple TV, and an LED TV would be provided so that our students and staff members have the best when it comes to informational and digital literacy. The Library Advisory Board hopes to provide services to the students, parents, teachers, and community members of Avondale Academy to ensure that they have services that are both useful and helpful. Many people may think of the library as simply a quiet place to study or conduct research, but we want to make sure that students feel that they can come here to learn about research methods, that they can learn what is a valid or reliable source, that they understand what they need to do in order to ensure that they avoid plagiarism at all costs. Of course, learning doesn't only apply to students, but also to teachers. The library will work with and collaborate with teachers of Avondale Academy to ensure that our curriculum incorporates technology and digital literacy and informational literacy throughout. We will ensure that we have a professional library of teachers and librarian staff members who are focused on supporting the school's mission and vision. The Avondale Academy Library Media Center does have some requirements in regards to the physical space of our building. For example, we will need physical space for the bookshelves and displays, for magazines, for seating, for the circulation desk, and of course for storage space for additional items. In order for the students and staff members of the Avondale Academy to have the best access to the resources that the Library and Media Center can provide, staffing will be necessary. We will need a full-time head library and media specialist, as well as a full-time library assistant. In addition, a full-time technical assistant should be available. The Avondale Academy Library and Media Center will need seating for up to 50 people at one time. This is necessary in order to leave adequate space for meetings, instruction, and group work. The Avondale Academy Library and Media Center will require up to 7,810 square feet for the totality of the room. The main floor, based upon our research, will require 1,000 square feet plus 3 square feet per student. Based upon the estimate that we will have 650 students by our third year, we've come to the calculation of 6,850 square feet for the main floor and room of our library. We provided estimates for the square footage for several auxiliary rooms, such as the library and staff workroom, the conference room, the librarian office, the computer network server, the electronic software storage, as well as the periodical storage. All these numbers have been worked into our total space requirement. In order for the Board of Trustees and the Graves brothers to understand exactly where their money is going for each item, we have provided a line item budget. This budget will cover both the past fiscal year, our opening costs, the budget for the current year, as well as a budget request for the following year. And it will cover items such as books and periodicals, repairs to equipment, supplies, staff training, audiovisual, dues membership, operating system, database, ebooks, and all this information, this extensive information for the line item budget can be found in several attached documents. Earlier in our presentation, we mentioned that reading materials will need to be worked into the budget for this library. The main purpose of the Library and Media Center is to provide students with resources and services to help further their education and cultivate them to become independent thinkers. In order to achieve this, there needs to be literature and information available in various formats, including printed books, ebooks, and periodicals. Our estimated expense for the reading materials will be $23,950. Our Library and Media Center hopes to be at the forefront of technology and education. In order to do so, we need to require the technology and computer materials required. In keeping up with the 21st century skills needed for students to become successful in the world, we will also be providing students with computers, or the library rather, with computers, tablets, and audiovisual equipment, which will allow the students hands-on experience with the latest technology. This, of course, will support training and internet use. Along with that, the database subscriptions will be necessary to provide students and teachers with reliable academic journals and articles. Printers, faxes, photocopiers, computers, tablets for teachers and staff are also included in this category. Our estimated expense for all of these technology and computer materials is $20,000. Our library plans to use the operating system Alexandria. In order to provide adequate service, keep track of materials, and allow students and teachers the ability to search and locate materials on their own, an operating system and computer and technology for the operating system will be needed. The cost for these specific items is $13,000. To provide the students, teachers, and staff with quality service, a full-time head librarian with proper credentials will be necessary. To allow the head librarian to focus on running the library and helping students and teachers, a full-time library assistant will also be needed to help with the day-to-day tasks. Finally, a full-time technical assistant with valuable information in troubleshooting technical problems, updating and managing systems, and providing support to school staff. Also necessary will be health benefits for these workers and money provided for substitutes. Keeping the staff up to date and knowledgeable in the latest technology, literature, best practices is important for librarians and support staff to take part in membership, conferences, and professional development. Things taken in training professional development can also be shared with the entire school to use and implement in their classes and provide new ways for them to utilize the Library and Media Center. The estimated cost for the adequate staffing and development is $137,600. There will be expenses for other items, such as travel, postage, maintenance, repairs, insurance, etc. The cost for these items is estimated to be $11,500. This brings a grand total of expenses for our Library and Media Center to $206,050. Providing this presentation is a letter from the Library Advisory Board to the Board of Trustees. The Avondale Academy will prove to be the forerunner for technology and education in Connecticut. The heart of that function will be the Media Center. Our initial startup budget will be at $206,050, reducing down to $149,700 for a yearly budget in its first operating year. This center will provide the students of Avondale with the latest in technology and advancements in education. We hope to staff the library with a full-time librarian as well as a library assistant and technical assistant. There will also be money set aside for substitutes, allowing the students to consistently have access to an adult that can assist them with their needs. The total for this portion of the budget is $136,200, both as a startup and on a yearly basis. Looking at supplies the library is hoping to acquire: computers, e-readers, personal tablets, books, database subscriptions, and audiovisual materials. The budget for this area will be $20,000. We will need an up-to-date operating system and a budget set aside for technical support. We have set aside $13,000 for setup and installation of this system, with a recurring budget of $2,000 for maintenance. There will be a recurring need for materials and repair print books for the processing of said materials. $4,000 was set aside for this purpose initially, with a recurring budget of about $400. This will continue past the startup as repairs are needed and new items are required. There is a need for printers, faxes, photocopiers, as well as print materials. The print materials will include periodicals and books, and the setup this area will include a budget of $23,000. Ultimately, we are here to create thinkers and the need for resources that go beyond the traditional and essential. These various areas will provide the students with the resources they will need to succeed far beyond the walls of Avondale Academy. Furthermore, we took into account that the staff would need to be trained as well as the need for professional development. There is an allotment for professional memberships that would benefit the librarians as well as the teaching staff. There is also an allotment for maintenance and repairs to the equipment in the room itself. A budget of $137,600 will be for the startup as well as yearly in order to maintain the level of excellence we will demand for the Avondale Academy. We have focused our efforts with our current school's offer and we hope to offer in the future for our children. We have based our information on costs from various resources, including actual quotes for databases and information provided in reports at the Guidelines for School Facilities in Virginia's public schools, and information found in the book Library and Information Center Management, as well as some information found in the following link. As demonstrated in the presentation to the board and the documents provided, we feel that this is a solid beginning for the students of Avondale Academy and an opportunity to further the education of children in our area. So, Board of Trustees, Graves Brothers, if you have any questions about this budget for this year, please let us know. Hello, and welcome to the Library Advisory Board's presentation of the Avondale Academy's Library and Media Center. The Library Advisory Board, consisting of Jennifer Fry, Rebecca Goff, Maria Reinstein, and Chris Vella, are pleased to present our budget plan to the Board of Trustees and the Graves Brothers.